I'm here with our friends from Magnum Creek. We've got Travis joining us, and we're talking about air conditioning. When you first come into a room, where do you put the air conditioning normally?
We get the layout of the room. Every room's different.
Yeah.
We can have the air handler fan coil outside the room. The return air can be ducted at a 5-foot level, pulling that heat from the plant, the light, blowing the supply air down on a 8 and 4 o'clock position sort of idea, down along the canopy down. So your cool air will naturally fall, your hot air will naturally rise. But you can also have the fan coil up higher, grabbing that heat off the top because the heat will rise, and then having that cool air blow across your canopy.
So having the AC up high is going to basically make that air conditioner run more efficiently, grabbing the hottest air in the room.
That's correct, yeah.
We don't need any ductwork off this because there's enough air.
Not necessarily, yeah.
There's enough air being pushed off the front of this AC to hit the whole other side of the room.
That's correct.
But we also have in the middle of the room a stratification fan that's going to be grabbing that air and shooting it down on all angles of the plant.
From our experience, you can never have too many fans.
Having those fans actually shooting the air back down is going to help circulate like a vortex within the room. So why is it so important to actually size an air conditioner for the room?
You don't want to have too much air conditioning because it's just a waste of energy, right? So to accurately size, it allows you to get the temperatures you want, during sometimes your night cycle, to be able to allow it to get down to those cool temperatures you might need for either finishing, and then also during your light on cycle, you want to be able to achieve what temperatures you want to achieve. So it is important to make sure you have it sized correctly. There's nothing worse than having a room that you cannot pull to the temperatures that your plant requires.
Another thing for efficiency wise, from my understanding, is the compressor turning on and off.
Yeah, when that compressor bangs on, it uses an inrush, and it's a large amperage, a number which then converts to your wattage, which is your energy efficiency. And having that bang on and off all day long is higher wattage. Where these type of systems, they allow you to soft start. So it starts low and ramps up. And you can dial in how fast that ramps up and ramps down.
We can really dial in the temperature.
Well, yeah, in your beginning stages of your garden, you don't need 65, 70 degree Fahrenheit air. You might be in the 80 to 85 range. And so you don't need that capacity right away. So this allows you to be able to vary that capacity and really dial in those numbers. And then as your garden cycle goes on, your temperature can drop and allows you then you still have the capacity to do so, and it just ramps up more.
Basically, fan slows down, is that correct?
The fan can slow down, the compressor will modulate based on how many steps it requires from the cooling signal.
So it could be running at 20-25%.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And overall, it can be a 30% cost savings by going this route in the inverter technology.
And we decided to go with Fujitsu.
Correct, yeah. Been around a long time, very well built product. Never had very many issues with them.
When sizing and coming up with your plan for your garden, it's really important to assess how much load we have.
Correct, yeah. So the simplest way is to really sit down, take your fan count, all your oscillating fans, your dehumidifier output rating, your lighting output rating, put that all together and then convert that from wattage to BTUs. And that conversion is for every 1,000 watts, it requires 3,412 BTUs to cool it.
Cool, so if I've got 10,000 watts of light and energy being made in my garden, I need 34,000 BTUs. What is a BTU?
It is a British thermal unit, and it is a measurement of heat.
Which then awkwardly converts into tons of AC.
Correct.
And a ton of AC is approximately 12,000 BTUs. In our situation, we've measured out the heat load for how many lights we have, and we assessed that we needed a 2-ton unit.
Correct.
So outside, heat pump compressor. This animal right above us is just the
fan coil.
The fan
air
coil.
handler. This type is a slim duct style that allows more higher static pressure, so you can go with slightly smaller ductwork, allowing more velocity out, which moves your air more in a turbulence type manner.
Basically, this is still also a miniature dehumidifier.
That's right, yeah. So when your lights are on and this is running, you're dehumidifying.
Yeah.
Right, so really when it comes to your dehumidifiers, you're more sizing them for your light off cycle.
Yeah, so basically this will be removing 80-90% of that moisture in the air.
Yeah.
During the lights on time.
Lights on time, yeah.
The dehums are there to back up for lights off.
That's right.
When setting your room up, this is very, very important stuff. You cannot put the dehumidifiers directly in front.
You don't want that conditioned air blowing directly into the back of a dehumidifier.
Correct. Because that's basically cold air, which already contains less moisture.
Correct.
So when it comes to dehumidifying, we want maximum moisture. We're going to be hanging our dehumidifiers as high as possible because obviously warm air rises. Warm air is going to contain more moisture, which means ultimately removing more moisture out of the air and makes the dehumidifiers run more efficiently.
And there's actually a lot of equipment now that's coming out that where you have the fan coils or handlers or rooftop units that you can place outside that have dehumidification built into them. There's a lot of times you can invest with a professional to explain and sell you on something that's not going to cost you a lot of money, because you can be into a project for a lot of money for your air conditioning and your dehumidification, where you can have that into one product and save on an overall cost as well.
It's just all a part of making a plan that's going to work for your situation.
That's right.
A major pet peeve of mine is walking into a room and hearing that harmonic whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. What we've got here is we've got spring isolators.
Yes.
So this whole unit is actually not even touching. It's literally on springs and rubber.
More times than not, we've walked in and you hear that exact harmonic sound. That ooh, sitting there.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys complain because it transfers throughout the house, the garage, anywhere you're installing it. For the price, it's worth every penny.
We're recreating nature.
That's right.
Part of that is having the right componentry to help facilitate that. If you don't get this right,
Everything
everything else is out the window.
That's right.
100%.
Climate is your biggest concern, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not just because I install air conditioners.
No, but it truly is.
To a plant's life, that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest environments, right? You can know right away as soon as you walk in. You
Yeah.
get that feeling over the years of walking into a lot of rooms. You know the feeling of whether that room is proper operation or not.
Totally. These are important things. Coming up with a plan and asking why. You're going to want to have a professional like Magnum Creek or a professional AC individual come in. This is not something you just buy at Home Depot. The backyard renter throws together.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of different steps you need to take, environmental reasons and just legality reasons.
This is done for professionals, so you're going to have a trusted professional come into your garden and assess all those very important parameters that may sound like gibberish to you, but are extremely important things to learn and understand. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Travis.
Anytime.
Cheers.